All right, Bibi. Let's talk about us first, because that's what people are going to see now, our love triangle. How is it that we're still friends after this love triangle?
Because we come from the same planet. I think for us, I mean, we talked about it all the time. We were just, friendship for us was the most important thing, and being honest. And, I just feel like it's so important to lead with communication. And we talk to each other. Yeah. We had these moments where we would just check in and see how we were doing, how we were feeling. And you knew how I was feeling, I knew what you were feeling, and I don't know if Kevin knew that. Oh crap, I can't.
You definitely didn't. You totally can say that. It's already on air right now.
And that was what made it so cool, right? And refreshing. And, I was just always so honest, and I was so happy that we were just able to kind of get through it, because now we're all friends.
Yeah, so speaking about you being open and vulnerable and honest, you were very much known for that on Arie's season. How do you feel that everybody thinks that you're their spirit animal, that you just preach on behalf of all the other girls in the house? You're like the spokesperson.
It's so crazy. I mean, I would have never imagined that I would have gotten that much support. I always tell people, I just led with my truth all the time, and I was just really myself. It's really uncomfortable to be around the cameras and get acclimated to that. But once, you get through that first rose ceremony, I just was myself, and I owned it, and I could look back and think maybe I could have chilled a little bit more, right? We've said
I think
that.
You're fine.
But I'm glad I was just myself,
Right.
And anybody that's going into this, if you just lead with that the entire time and not just filter everything that you're saying, I think that you're better off, right? Because I got to do Winter Games.
Yeah. Okay, so you get to do Winter Games. You're basically the only girl in this cast that gets to do it. Lauren G doesn't last long. How does that feel that you were picked out of all these women?
I'm honored. I mean, I'm kind of happy that I got dumped so early, because then I got to do it. I'm sitting down in the women's salon, and I'm Winter Games is airing.
Yeah.
Everybody's really mad about things, and I'm well, I'm just really happy Winter Games is airing.
For somebody who gets eliminated week 3, you're getting a lot of airtime. If they ask you to do Paradise, would you do Paradise?
I guess we would have to see how Winter Games plays out first. Right?
There's that.
But I definitely trust my Bachelor family. So if the stars were to align for some reason in the future and I'm single, I would be open to it.
Amazing. We'll see. Very exciting. People talk about how you are sassy and fiery, but you never get that you're bitchy. How do you find that balance?
I don't know. I do not know. Maybe because I'm not belittling people. I'm much more standing up for what I feel is right, and just speaking my truth versus turning it around and being well, you did this, and this, and I think you saw, maybe you really didn't see how frustrated the women were in that episode where I kind of hashed it out with Krystal, but they were pissed off,
The girls are pissed off, and then you were the spokesperson for them all.
Right. And kind of just feel like I was protecting my sisters, because you forget everything outside of that world. You become a family. And, I told Krystal today, I feel like you didn't have to like us, but it didn't mean that you had to disrespect us, right? I didn't say that exactly, but that's what I really should have said to her. She was just much sometimes, and I think that maybe that experience was because you don't know how you're going to act. I didn't know.
Brought out the worst.
My chill.
You didn't. You don't really have chill. It's fine. I like that you don't have chill.
I appreciate it, because when people are you're too much, I'm damn it, did I just scare everybody away?
Speaking of being too much, you and I have the reputation that we're too much for guys to handle, and that turns them off. We're high maintenance. We're too outspoken. What do you have to say to the girls of America who are considered too much, and the men who don't want that?
I think I was talking to somebody yesterday, and I was if I hear one more person call me too much, I'm going to be your face is too much. I really think it's important, who you are is what makes, your individuality is what makes you you, right? And who you are is so unique, and just because you might not fit perfectly or like are the mold of like what somebody else expects you to be doesn't mean that you need to change yourself. And you know, I feel like I struggled with my identity for some time, maybe like throughout the age of like 23 to 27, and then finally when I came into my own skin and I'm like 30 and I feel like I'm 30 and thriving and just owning who I am, I'm like nobody is changing that.
In the words of Jennifer Garner, 30, flirting, thriving.
That's it. I just want to find a guy that can keep up, you know, and can appreciate the muchness of it all, right? And there's somebody out there.
I love that. I hope we get to see that on TV. My last question for you. What are the highlights and the lowlights of tonight's episode? What did you think is the juiciest, and what did you think was something that was just overplayed and ridiculous?
Becca's age was overplayed completely. I'm like, we've heard it all before. I mean, I felt like I was ready to get married at 21. That ship has sailed, goodbye. And then the one thing that I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening was like Arie just put Krystal back in her place. I'm like, he stood up for us. And that to me was really attractive. I mean, when I came home from The Bachelor and like that whole experience, I didn't have much to say about Arie. I didn't really think that he spoke much. But now that you're seeing this far along, that he's actually developing these relationships and seeing where I'm like, this is why I signed up for this. Because what he's feeling for these women, I really want to find, right? And then for him to see, like, we were all wondering, like, how is Krystal still here? And for us to see him come back and be like, all right, you're two complete different people. Like, what you were doing to these women was not cool. It's like, you don't have to like us, but you definitely don't need to belittle us, you know? And he stood up for us, and I thought that was so attractive. I feel like I like him now.